Hey guys, how's it going? Do you like the new setup? This is kind of like I thought we could do with a change. And yeah, just thought, why not? Try things a little bit differently here. We've got the chat over here. It's now, light blue because blue is actually my favorite color. And yeah, it just looks a little cleaner. I don't know about you, but I kind of prefer this one. Anyway, really excited to be back. We're going to be reviewing a couple of videos today that you have submitted, both on the Discord and also on the subreddit Chen Violin. And yeah, we're going to be talking about all these different things about violin. Sorry about the other instruments, but we have different guest artists every week, every Wednesday, and the next guest artist is actually going to be Andreas Ottensheimer. You guys can check out. He's a clarinetist. He's also the principal clarinetist in the Berlin Film. Pretty awesome guy. And yeah, so that's going to be on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 4 p.m. in Central Europe time. So yeah, be sure to check that out. All right, so today, how's it going, chat? Yeah, well, boomer moves still happen, but they're becoming less and less. I mean, I would say that I'm improving, right? It's happening. It's all right. You gotta I gotta leave some boomer moves so you guys don't miss Boomer Ray too much, right? Hello from Qatar. Hello from Texas as well. Yes, nice. Greetings from Norway. Very nice. And also Greece. Oh my gosh, guys, talking about all these different countries makes me want to travel so much. Gosh, this whole situation has been, well, you know how it's been. But yeah, I miss traveling. I think that at the beginning of this whole quarantine period, I was ready to just stay inside because I've been traveling for the past 10 years. But now I'm ready to travel again. So anyway, we've got some review videos. Let's get right to it. Our first video here is, Adah. She's 14 years old, and she's going to be playing the Bruch Violin Concerto. Very nice, Adah. Well, gosh, 14 years old. Gosh, I gotta say, you kids are getting better. It's like kids are getting better younger these days, I feel like. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's pretty amazing. Anyway, it's the Bruch Violin Concerto, very popular piece. And the music I have here as well, if you guys want to take a look at it. Yeah, so Bruch Violin Concerto, very popular piece. I've highlighted a few parts. I think you did a great job, Adah. Obviously you've got the technique, you've got the skills. Everyone's in absolute awe at your ability. A couple of things that I think could add to your playing. It's always the stuff that, for me, sometimes some parts of it's technical, but other parts it's kind of like, how can we make this how can we make it more emotional? What's the right emotion in this, right? So we start. Right? Mysterious. To here and then dying away. Right? So that's a little bit of the an example. And then the next passage. And the orchestra takes over. Da, ya, da, da, ba, da, da, ba. Yeah, and I make this motion on stage, da, or at least inside I do. But yam, bum, 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 bum. Right, and then you're off there. Okay, so the beginning passage here. It's got to be like. Well, you got to think about it like really mysterious. You're emerging from the mist, right? And then you got to go towards this note and then die away by the time you kind of get to the resolution of the D. So you're reaching for this note, but then you... So it's kind of like an eerie resolution. You're like, da, da. You're like, wait a second. I should be feeling better about a resolution. Usually resolutions in music resolve, right? And they give us a sense of feeling resolved. And they give us, therefore, a sense of like, oh, yes, that's good. But here, even though it resolves, you need to like feel like uncertain almost. And the orchestra takes over. And then you come in. And then again, orchestra takes over there. Okay, now we start at letter A. Yum, bum, 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 bum. And this part, it's kind of like, I always imagine like we're off to war. Well, guys, let's not glorify war, but in our minds, like let's say war in a video game, it's just like wow, we're it's like this beat, it's so deep within us, the drums, dum, bum, 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 dum. That's why I highlighted this note here, dum, ba bum, because Adah, I felt like those dotted rhythmic passages, this dum, ba ba, they're all over the piece. You got one here, da da da, da ya da 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 da, like all over, and so you really got to make. That's the motif. When something happens and a composer uses it again and again, we call that a motif. It's just like kind of like a calling card of sorts. So, bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. But then here, I would say, when we get to this point here, you want to make sure that even though it's fortissimo, leave some space. Let's find contrast within the piece. That even though, I said we're like going to war, bum, 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 that amongst it, there's still some sort of beauty in it. There's some singing. There's some like the glory of it is not always hard. Okay, so especially after like hearing us like basically, you know, you're pounding the instrument, and then at some point you gotta like have contrast. There. But then it's back. So this dotted rhythm here kind of summons us back into the kind of dam ba ba again. This passage is pretty important, okay? I felt like you did a great job, Adah, but, you know, it can get crunchy real fast. So how do we prevent that from becoming crunchy, right? All right. Let's take a closer look at this. So you want to already, as you're playing the chord, that you're already almost lifting the bow. And it's in a circle. It should be like, that's the circle of motion, the circle of life. Let's get some God voice in here. Circle of life. Okay, thank you. So basically, and you know, you want to try to play 3 notes at the same time, but you don't necessarily. You can just kind of like, if a quick roll can make it work, then just use the quick roll, right? And then here, it's a chance for you to, you know, bring out like a really juicy tone, you know? So when you do that slide, it's like about, you know, slides are about making it sound, how can I say? It's like spicing things up or juicing things up. You never want to you got to be careful with slides. You never just want to make a slide for the sake of a slide. It needs to help somehow with the music. Otherwise, what does it become? Becomes an elegant moo, okay? So you don't want to sound like a cow. So you're like, you know, you got to sound like... So make sure that the slide doesn't become louder and take up more attention than the note itself.
Thank you very much, Daniel Gutierrez Garcia, for your donation.
Anyway, back to this. Right? So there you have it. That's like, you can imagine all those different things. So we started first, mysterious sound. We have so many different sounds in this. Concern, right? And then we go into a more like, okay, forward. And then finally, you know, after all that, the war thing, but finding some parts to be a bit more singing. And then this part, not too crunchy. Try to get that round motion. And then a nice, juicy left hand, dark night sauce. You got it. All right. So that's that. Nice job, Adah. All right. So hope that helps you guys. Bruch Violin Concerto, after all, is a pretty popular piece. And I'm sure that a lot of you out there will be playing this sooner or later. So that's something to consider. It's a great piece to work on together. And all right, up next, who do we have? All right, let's take a look. Oh, we have Seungho Lee. He's 18 years old, and he's going to be playing the Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto, first movement. Nicely done, Seungho. All right, here we have also yet another very popular violin concerto by Tchaikovsky. This is, probably one of his most famous works. Tchaikovsky, I might have said this before, but it's important to take note, is very important, and you have to always think about ballet, right? Certain composers have their own musical language. Mozart, it's opera. Beethoven, it's symphonies and string quartet. Tchaikovsky, it's definitely ballet. And each time you have the da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, you have to think about ballet dancers just having air, leaping into the air. And so when we play stuff like where I've kind of marked here, these sections like that over there, you have to think about the fact that there is enough air. And Seungho, I think you did a great job. It's very difficult, but there are moments where I feel like you're kind of like you're ignoring the rests. For example, like here, when I've circled here and here, these moments here are sort of, they have to be respected, because that's when the ballet dancer leaps into the air, right? So you gotta think about that. It's not like just like, otherwise it'd be like da 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 da, like it's just too. It doesn't make sense then if you don't do that. So, all right, let's start from the beginning. Right. Ooh, here we go. Again, it's a mysterious beginning. It's da da ba da ba da ba da ba da, and then you come in. It's a little bit like, you have like that kind of like, ooh, like here I am. It's a little bit slick, but it's definitely slicker than, let's say, the Bruch. But you know, you gotta think about, like, okay, it's still a beginning. It's just a different character. Every composer, remember, every piece has a different character. Thank you.
Thank you to the Iron Pumpkin.
So you know, think about that. Every character. Now we're in for Tchaikovsky, and Tchaikovsky's character in this particular piece has a bit of a different kind of vibe. It's like the Once Upon a Time. You lift people's heart. And then here, you got to be a little bit more elegant and more kind of like dance-like, right? Otherwise, it's just like very kind of, you stay on the ground. And you want to have like that kind of uplifting feeling. Okay, first thing, I highlighted this little passage here, the first part, because I felt like you kind of rushed that, and, you know, I feel like you can take a separate bow. Maybe try taking a separate bow on that high E. And then try to discover what would, because you're going da 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 da. I think of Princess Peach, you know, with the parasol and just like floating down da 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 da, and then lightly, gently touching the ground. Okay, and we talked about all this. Now, I wrote in dance over there. Even here, when it gets like kind of a little bit darker and you're on the G string, you can dance. Here is the time, then you like reach this moment of magnificence, right? That's what makes Tchaikovsky, it's so noble when you get to this part. Singing. Again, playful. Then here, take a little bit of time, Seungho. This part has, you have, whoops, I need the highlighter. Where are you, highlighter? You need to be able to find whoops, my iPad just fell. All good. You need to find a passage where you can like have a little bit of a breath as well, you know?
Thank you, Marcus. The answer is no.
I'm just kidding. I am everyone's violin teacher. So here, this is the start of something new here. Okay? Oh gosh, my handwriting is terrible. I would make a like, you know how your teacher scribbles in your, like leans over and writes in your part. It's like, use this fingering. I probably, well, first of all, I haven't written on like actual paper in a long time, but I would probably be one of those who like pokes a hole through your manuscript. So yeah, you don't want me to be your teacher. Take a time. Take a time. Take time. You're growing. And that note, don't hold that too long, Seungho. That, it's yum bum ba da dum bum dum bum ba da dum bum. These notes too. And in this part, you want to feel like you're like stuck in gravy. You're just like... You're transitioning. To this next scene, just like a ballet, right? Okay, so this is what you want to do. So here, I kind of highlighted these notes here. Thank you.
We made this a thing. Krista, Herwig, thank you so much.
So, anyway, so here, the reason why I highlighted this part is because I felt like you kind of rushed that passage. So I need you to, come on, pen. Okay, my pen isn't working anymore. Well, sad days indeed. But this part here, I just felt like it was a little bit rushed, and that is a written udo. So when you have that, it should be the opposite of rushing. Because you want to get people into that mood from like, from that to this, yeah, you only have like one bar to transition. You gotta make use of that bar. All right, so basically, just to recap, you start once upon a time, like kind of like an intro, a slightly slicker intro, like a little bit like dangerous. I don't want to use the word slick because slick is like cheap, but maybe perhaps it's like, okay, it's like ta-da, a little bit like, the John, like so. Are you here? No. Here? What's happening? Oh, glory! And so you're kind of like, you're always playing with the piece. You're dancing. It's a dance. You have to think about that every time you play, especially this movement, you know? And the third movement too, you know? But yeah, maybe with the exception of the second movement, the canzonetta. You know, that's a little bit sadder there. So you want to make sure that's like sorrowful. Okay. And then there are other moments which are obviously not a dance. You know, this part, you know, that's kind of like a longing. You're longing for someone. It's like you're stuck in quarantine and you just miss people. You just miss being around people. Then you play this passage. So you get the idea. Music is all about emotion. It's about the timing, emotion, timing, and the style. Like the purpose. Every note, every passage, every phrase has to have a purpose. You're doing things as a musician. Every choice you make works towards that purpose, that whatever that purpose is. All right? So always make sure that you remember that. All right. Thank you, Seungho. Now, for our next person, who do we have here? Oh, whoops. Sorry. I forgot to, click out of that. All right. Oh, this one's a short one. She's 11 years old. Nesya Fertel is playing a bit of Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto and third movement. So, but she only uploaded like literally 15 seconds. But I thought it was like really, really nice. And how many 11-year-olds do we see play this well? So, guys, give it up for Nesya. Oh, that was it. That was it. I told you guys it was a short one. So all right. Well, thanks for your submission, Nesya. And I just thought it was really cool that an 11-year-old can play so well. Gotta salute the prodigies out there, the future Linglings of the universe. Okay, but in all seriousness, if you want, I think I can give, make it, why not? Let's make it like even better. All right, so I thought it was really cool. What you can do, what you can start thinking about, Nesya, is your slides. I think if you can just move them a little bit faster, slides come in all different, shapes, sizes, and, whatever, but speeds as well. If you go, that's not appropriate for that solution, right? You don't want that. You want that. 1, 2, 3. And I also admire the fact that you are using a metronome, which is really great. Just be careful because your metronome gave you away. I felt like you didn't wait enough on this particular note here, this B. it was a little bit cut short. You should be waiting. Da-da-da, 1, 2, 3. So make sure that you count full. Otherwise, practicing is just like, once you ingrain it in yourself multiple times, suddenly you got to play it with piano or orchestra, and then it's just like, wait, the simplest of things like that could mess you over, and you don't want that. That would be such a shame. All right, so. 1, 2, 3. I always think of like, it's a little bit Looney Tunes, going on. And I love your shirt, by the way. What a great shirt. That you said it was quarantine shirt or it was a crazy shirt. I think it's the best shirt, especially for this piece. Find moments like that. To not like have, you don't want like super contrasting dynamics, but just a little bit of color. Like, kind of like, ooh, what do we have here? Kind of like that. So you kind of get that idea. And this is actually a really good speed. I think that, especially with metronome, and then you can play it without metronome, and just try to see how you shape it. I would say that it's pretty close to my ideal tempo already. You just want to make sure that you get that run, right? That's the, I call it the butt clenching run, because my butt clenches every time I play that awful run there. That is a difficult moment, but we didn't get to that part. But I look forward to hearing you play that part next time, Nesya. So thank you for your submission. All right, guys. That was the Mendelssohn's third movement, third violin concerto, lol. Third movement of his violin concerto, played by 11-year-old Nesya Fertel. Thank you so much for your submission. All right, let's go to the next one. Next submission. Who do we have? Okay, I did it again. Why do I keep doing that? I just forget. What do we have here? Francesca from Milan. Prokofiev 2 violin concerto. That's what she's going to play. Oh, the first movement. Nice. Wow. Let's hear it. Wow. That's really good. Amazing. Thank you so much, Francesca, for that beautiful submission of Prokofiev's Second Violin Concerto. Well, I can't say I have that much to say. It's really good, clean, very good sound. You have a great stage presence. If there's anything that I would say, gosh, what would it be? Maybe it would be something to think about. To kind of think about the mood. What is the mood of the piece? That's what I wrote here. Like in the beginning. Like, what do you want to achieve in this to achieve emotionally? I mean, you play very beautifully. I think it's time that by thinking about, okay, but what is the emotion, right? Because beauty isn't an emotion. Beauty is just something that is the outcome of a series of things that have been put together in a way that we humans appreciate and are attracted to, all right? Most importantly, that's what beauty is, okay? So beauty isn't an emotion. It can elicit an emotion. However, on its own, it's not an emotion. So, and that's something to think about when we're playing the violin, or playing any instrument for that matter. So when we're here, I ask, what's the mood? You know, what is the mood of the piece? What do you want to say? I think of it as something very dark, right? Where we're sort of, what are we thinking of here? We're thinking of something that's a little darker, a little scarier. Let's get that scary sound. Yeah, I think I can make it a little more scary. Like, let's... You're off there. Okay, cool. So even from the beginning, I think that you had a really beautiful, full sound. It was like very romantic sounding. But I don't know if that's like the right mood for that moment. I think it's the right mood for the later moments, like this part. But I'm not sure if it's the right mood for the beginning part, right? So, think about that. That's something important to think, okay? And then, but other than that, I mean, your octaves were really clean. I thought that they were really great. Moving on, passage here at the third, rehearsal number 3, this part. Make sure you get that right. You want it. He's got the dots on it, and then here, as you crescendo, then your stroke gets longer, and then back to short. Right? So that's something to think about there. I think that would really help. Moving on, and then I thought, okay, your slides, again, we're on the topic of slides here. This part. be careful, because if you go again, we want to make sure that the slide doesn't overtake the music. We want to make sure that the music is more important than the slide. The slide is just a vehicle. It's just a vehicle of expression, right? But not a transportation vehicle to get you between notes. That's important. You went like, and it's just like, okay, right? You got to be careful. Like, do you want that? I mean, I could see a slide. Look, there's no right or wrong in music. That's very important. Let's put that out there right now. However, you have to be conscious of every single choice you make. And you have to ask yourself, does it fit the mood of that moment? Like if you are having, let's say, an intimate moment with somebody. I mean, not that, like most of us are old enough to, but let's say we're imagining it. A nice candlelit dinner. We're here together. And then, you know, the other person is just like, it's like you already know them. You're sharing this like, okay, it's just you and me. And then the other person suddenly like, hey, it's like, whoa, like what you didn't have to do that. Like, I'm already here. We're having dinner together. You gotta, like, you know, and you're it's, if it was a funny moment, I could understand that, or like a moment that you needed that. But then out of the blue, if you suddenly like had someone who's just like, you know, they're in the middle, I don't know, of like something that's like really like I really care about you, and you're spilling your heart out to that person, and then you're suddenly like that. It's just like yeah, like you want to avoid those moments in there, I think, personally. All right, but like I said, no right or wrong, right? Maybe you could just like more refined, right? Okay, so let's play that whole passage with a refined slide. This was all very good. 2, 3. But then something happens. Okay, and then I felt like, okay, this was all pretty good, and then very good, and then at 9 here, let's focus on, okay, there's a repeated motif. There we go. That's that word again. So again, it's like, okay, where you start from 9. Okay, and then here is this and this are the same ones, because it's like, okay, you've repeated, it's and then so this one is like the repeated one of this one. So you gotta like emphasize that one, right? It's like, I said it again, you know? Right? So There you go. There you go. All right. Eyebrow game strong with this piece. Thank you so much, Francesca, for your beautiful submission for your video. And I think that's about it that we have in terms. Oh no, there is one more video before we go on. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this was a video that I thought was just really beautiful, and I wanted to share with you because we don't have many piano videos. And by the way, for all the pianists out there, please don't feel left out. I have been working this week on something I'm going to probably be able to send out to you by the end of this week, latest beginning of next week. It's going to be something, a little bit of a play with Ray piano edition, so we can all enjoy that together. So don't feel left out. I care about you, piano gang. Keep a lookout for that. By the way, just wanted to quickly say that you can join us on the Discord. The link is in the description below. And we have a great community. There's like 6,000 now of us. It's Ray and his 6,000 kids. Yay! Like seriously though. Like I'm like here with my 6,000 kids all the time. But no, it's just a really cool place. We talk about music. Obviously, there are practice rooms, virtual practice rooms that you guys can go in. It's just hard sometimes to find that motivation. And on Discord, we definitely have motivation and energy plenty. So guys, be sure to check that out. In the meantime, I wanted to show you this last video. It's actually a pianist. Speaking of piano, gang, we have here. Oh yes, this was just like, it's called the Musique pour la Trieste de Zion. Basically from the video game Kingdom Hearts. No, wait. Am I boomering myself? Anyway, it's music for the sadness of Zion. I just thought that was so pretty. I wanted to show you. I mean, it's just like, it's from Kingdom Hearts, and Tian submitted that video. I think the full video is over on Discord as well in Ray Reviews thread, so definitely go check that out if you want to hear the whole thing. And also, I'll be posting also the details in the description below later. I just thought it was like, it's one of those pieces that's just like, yeah, you just feel like there's like rain, and then you could just like be there listening, you know. I love anime, and it's just like that whole vibe, you know. It's like that whole like rain. What's this? Yeah. Anyway, something like that. Wow. Wow, that's such a mood. What a mood. What a mood. Let's just stay in this mood. We have art reviews now. And then ask Ray questions, but I just want to stay in this mood a little bit longer. Let's get a little bit more of that rain sound effects. Wow. Okay. All right. Where am I? Wow. Oh gosh. All right. I am back, guys. Sorry about that. Music, you know what they say, transports you to another place. So that's that. I was feeling that vibe. Thank you so much, Chen, for that wonderful, those beautiful melodies and beautiful notes. Yeah. It was really nice. Yeah. Anyway, all right, onwards to, we have some Ask Ray questions. Ask Ray questions. Where are the Ask Ray questions? You know what? Where are the Ask Ray questions? Oh, they are here. Ha! Oh, here we go. All right. What is the silliest thing you have heard people say about you? Oh, gosh, that is a good question. What is the silliest thing I've heard people say about me? Well, when I was growing up, I was often told that I was a very arrogant person. You know, I was a very arrogant kid. I didn't know my place. And many people told me that because they had this like problem with this kid. It's like, you know, me being just very, I guess I was very comfortable with myself back then. Like initially, I kind of went through this phase of like being super confident and like comfortable with myself and just being like, I really just full of joy, you know, I really love music and I was doing it for fun. I wasn't even sure if I was going to become a violinist, but I was just like, this is really cool. I'm talking about when I was like 8 years old, by the way, and 8 to like maybe 13. And just, there were some adults who just had a real problem with that. They just could not accept that a kid could be so, I guess, like confident. I don't know, that kid ought to know his place. And so they would often, say pretty hurtful things. I mean, it's just crazy, right? Like you're an adult. You don't have to pick on a kid. You don't have to like put a kid in their place. I mean, yes, could you imagine like for certain kids, yes, I will say that there are certain kids out there who are like pretty bad. But I mean, my parents can attest to the fact that I was a pretty good kid. I mean, I was a violinist. Look at me. Like, what was I gonna do? But like, it was just. So that was a dumb thing, and I really was confused and hurt, and I didn't know what was wrong with me, because surely, and more than a few people told me that, and there's that whole thing where, hey, if one person tells you, whatever, they're stupid. If two people, but like time and time again, it wasn't like 3 people in a year, but it was like every. It felt like every 2 or 3 years there would be just another person. And they were, it was funny. They were always musicians. They were always music teachers. And I don't know. Maybe it's just an Australian thing. I don't know. You should ask the Brett and Eddie about that. Maybe they have some stories to share. Anyway, so I thought that was a silly thing. I later grew out of it. I realized that, that some people just can't stand when you're just loving yourself in a good way, in a positive manner, and that you're comfortable, that you're okay with that you're just happy to be you. And some people just can't stand that because they're not happy to be them. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, next, what is your advice to someone who wants to be a soloist but started later than most current soloists? Oh, okay, so this is a very specific question. What is your advice to someone who wants to be a soloist? Oh, thank you for the donation. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, S. Park. You do you too.
Okay, back to this question. What's your advice to someone who wants to be a soloist? Well, I would say this. If you're getting into music just to be a soloist, I would put it bluntly, I would reconsider your choices to be a musician, because being a musician isn't about being a soloist. I mean, it's nice to have goals, but you can't make, I mean, how many soloists are there per instrument? And certain instruments, there's like one soloist, like, or two maybe. You know, like how many mandolin soloists are there, right? Like I only know one is a friend of mine. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, how could you possibly go into music and put your sense of accomplishment, achievement, and more importantly, happiness, base that off of what you're gonna do, like such a minute number of people are able to do. I think that's wrong, and you need to probably think about what. I mean, any of you who think like that, I know that you probably didn't mean it in a way that's like, oh, I have to be a soloist or nothing else. It's probably like, how do you become a soloist? Now, that question, I would say, is very difficult to answer. To be a soloist, okay, generally, there's a couple of ways. You could win some major competitions. Yeah. And you might not be guaranteed a solo career. You would have your foot through the door, people would notice you, but then that's when your career begins. Okay, so second method would be if a really powerful organization or conductor, like a record label, a huge record label, backs you and basically just like transforms you into the next hottest thing. Although that's pretty difficult to do nowadays. It's it used to happen more easily for them, for the record labels, but now it's pretty difficult. And you still have to have something special to say. And now with social media, it's like, you could there are people with special things to say and just doing it on their own. Tied with that is the conductor way. It's you have a conductor who's really powerful and who really likes your playing, but usually those people would have probably made a career anyway because they have something special to say. And sometimes certain conductors will prefer certain soloists, and that's just the way music chemistry between people are how it is. But so I don't know, and then there's like this whole thing about the whole package deal, right? That you need to have good playing, good personality, and good looks. Those three things are what people say are the complete package, right? Deal, whatever that means. I think it's dumb. I think that you can improve all those things. Yeah, it's not something that you're just like, oh well, I guess I don't have one of those things or the other. I can't do this. No, I think that's dumb if you start thinking like that. So yeah, I would say just go into music loving what you do, and that would be the right choice. All right, so next question. How important is it to learn advanced music theory as a violinist? Oh, good question. I know the basics, double stops to chord progressions from piano lessons, but would you consider anything beyond that to be essential later on? If so, where/how would you start trying to familiarize yourself with those new concepts? Thanks. Wow. Well, I would say that, yes, music theory is pretty important. This is a little bit like hey, is algebra going to help me later on in real life? I would say that music theory will help you as a musician in later life. Even if you're just like, let's say for me as a soloist, like, do I use music theory? Yes, I use it when, not like, do I think like, oh, thank you. Just short interruption.
Thank you, Mazen Alamri. You rock too.
So anyway, back to the question. Like, do I use music theory? Yes. When I'm rearranging stuff, when I am sort of just like thinking about different like harmonies, when I'm thinking about the harmonic structure, it's not like, oh, this is a 5 to 6 chord. It's not like that. It's more like okay, I've just been sitting in those classes for a while, so I can feel I've been exposed to that enough, right? So that's what it is. It's being exposed to that constantly. And ear training, it's just like ear training. Ear training, you could have like sort of perfect pitch, but then after some training, you'll just become better. And with theory, you'll just become a better musician. Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, because even if you're a violinist, you're playing a melodic thing, right? So for example, this is a good example. So let's say I'm playing, I don't know, the Bruch. So I don't know, from here. So I know that's like, it's all part of the G minor chord. And in the middle of that, like I know, see, I don't even know enough about theory to know what chord that is, that changes within there, that sort of alters that G minor chord, but I know that something happens in the middle, and then it goes back to G minor. Dum bum, you know. And you sort of know that, okay, that usually a G minor chord starts on the, you know, of course on the tonic, but then when you start like a 1-6 chord, it's like, you know, this time there's a difference. You just intrinsically know that then, you know? And then here, those chords are different. I mean, this is probably a pretty bad example, but like, I don't know, some Bach, for example, I don't know. Like, it just helps you intrinsically. So I know I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this, but just, yeah, it will help you. That's the short answer. Oh, thank you for the donation by Denny. That's a question, actually. Stop playing violin at 14. I'm now 22. Should I pick it back up again, or am I too late? Well, it depends on your expectations. Expectations are always what... expectations are a good way to sort of have a goal, but they're also a great way to feel disappointment. So you got to manage your expectations. That's very important. All right. Next question by Prutznell. Have you ever thought about teaching violin as a member of faculty? For example, like in Curtis Institute of Music, for example. That's where I went to school. The master classes with you are just something special. Oh, thank you. You can really get straight to the point with your advice, and the way you connect with people and have an impact on them is incredible. Oh, and I'm the pledge of that. Thank you very much, Pusel. I've thought about teaching, and I just think that I shy away from doing one-on-one, not because I'm not good at it, but because I just want more people to benefit from, just to share with more people. I think that's why I love social media so much, because like right now, we've got like a couple hundred people, 530 people watching simultaneously, people dropping in and out all the time. Everyone can benefit from this. I feel like we have the technology, we have the tools to make this, to reach out to so many people. Why not use it, right? So yeah, that's my kind of thing. Anyway, would you rather play a concert on a full-size violin that is missing a string, or a 1/16 size violin that has all of its strings? What? Well, I have that video where I like break a string, where I'm like, I have to go on the, it's in the Prokofiev actually. And then I like, and then it just like stops. And I go into there. So I would say that, I would probably prefer the full-size violin that's missing a string, just so I could get a nicer sound, Otherwise, the 1/16 violin, it's just like nobody can hear you. So at least I could do something with a full-size violin. Anyway, I think that's all the questions, all the time we have for questions. And now we have a few art reviews. Oh my gosh, guys, I want to share with you this art. It is amazing. We have talented artists over in Discord. You guys should see this. This is amazing. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness. People have great Photoshop skills. Let's see. Oh, and thank you, Lotte.
Thank you, Lotte. You're welcome for the lessons, both in life and in music.
So here we have. I want you to go practice. Wow, nearest practice room. Nice, nice. Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, this is called relaxing with Ray. Relaxing. Very nice. I'm gonna take a sip of my. Feel very relaxed. Thank you. Scream. Very nice. Oh yeah, this was a little like wire violin or viola. I mean, could be both. Could be anything. Yeah, it was so cute. I thought it was like something that you'd find on Etsy. Yeah, it was like really nice. Oh yeah, this was a really cool thing. It's by violin. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. I thought this was a cool design. Yeah. And Van Gogh. Yeah, this one I was pretty impressed by. I mean, this one is, very, very cool. Very cool indeed. Gosh. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. Oh, this one as well. Yeah. That's pretty. It's terrifying, but good. It's pretty blessed and cursed. Yep, I will say. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this one I shared actually on my Instagram. This is amazing. Yeah, graphite pencil art. So, actually, both of these were by Millie. And a few others we would go through. We've got J1 did the violin. I'll go through them again real quick before we leave. So this, Boba Ray. Yep, thank you, girl with a pearl earring. Very nice. This one's by Gogo, George. Oh gosh, this is so cursed. I love it. This one is, initially the idea was formed by Justin, and then it was later improved upon by Millie. So thank you guys for that. So let's go through this again. This one is done by Spinnerson, guitarist. This one is done by, who do we have here? This one is done by, Kodak Naga with a relaxing. We've got the Scream. The Scream is done by, hey, it's Kate. The little violin by Serial Crafts. This violin is by J1. Here we have the Ray Chen Van Gogh by Zenobia, and the rest you already know. Oh, by the way, I did want to show you guys something that was pretty cool, which is this. Oh my goodness. Yep, that is wow. We had to, it was because I was like, you gotta cover that, because that is just, we can't show that part. On I don't want to get flagged by YouTube, but that's pretty amazing here. And that they I mean, obviously we know where the Photoshop is. It's my face and the violin. But if you look closely at God has actually been changed. God usually looks like this, but Instead, they've done, this is done by Millie, by the way. She has put on Roseanne's face on God, and has transformed it into Roseanne. So I thought that was so cool. That you don't even, I didn't even notice that. And again, that the original here to this one, I mean, can't even see the difference. It's amazing. Anyway, just thought that was a cool thing I wanted to share with you guys. So anyway, I think that's all we have time for today. So be sure to check out Wednesday's stream. We've got Offstage with Andreas Ottenzamer, clarinetist. And, tomorrow is the last day for clarinet submissions. And thank you for all of your donations. Thank you, Skritsby, for your donation. And you are so welcome for the daily inspiration. So, you're welcome. And, I hope that these videos keep you entertained, keep you learning, keep you motivated, keep you inspired for your practicing. And, I'm going to say goodbye now. So be sure to like and subscribe if you liked this content. It means a lot to me when I see those numbers go up. And, it further inspires me to create more content for you guys. So anyway, wanted to say goodbye now. Bye!